Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Art with Chris Things.
Ray! Do the hammerlock. I do the hammerlock. Ray! Do the hammerlock, you turkey necks. Yeah, do the hammerlock. I do the hammerlock.
Everybody's doing it. Hello! Hello, friends. Welcome to Wrestling Art with Chris Things. I am Chris Things Brian, your host, your pal, your wrestling watching buddy, your arty dude friend, whatever. But today we're here back for another wrestling club edition of the show, I guess. So I've started doing a thing where when I do these wrestling club events, which I adore doing, we have these nights at my favorite bar in the whole wide world, the Scratch, in beautiful Milton, Queensland, where I play a bunch of weird and wonderful wrestling. For a combination of some devout fan club members, wrestling club members who come out each and every time and support the things, and I'd hope enjoy the weird eccentric tastes in wrestling that I'm putting out there. In addition to a bar full of people who have no idea what this is going to be, who probably don't even know what wrestling is, and yet I am making them watch Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka. And that makes me very happy to get to do. On these, when I do those, I decided I should, let's capture a bit of that live in-person audio and make it into a special little episode of the podcast here. So that's what today is. Today's our Wrestling Club special edition of the podcast, commemorating Wrestling Club with Chris Things number 10. Yeah, we made it up to 10 events. A little thing that I started in a little bar on the street that I used to live in when I lived in the city of Brisbane. It was actually backed onto my street. It was Brewski Bar back in the day, and they were good enough to let me start doing this thing in their downstairs screening room. And then fast forward a year and a bit of change, and this is now an event that the Scratch advertises. It's played in the main back bit of the bar, like I said, to people that want to watch it and people who don't necessarily want to watch it alike. And yeah, I love it. I love doing it. I love the socialization element. I love bringing people together. I love we got to do trivia this past one. The trivia element of this past event. What was it? It was it was face paint in wrestling. Had a bit of stuff on Aja Kong in this week's playlist. Including a bit where she's actually putting on the face paint and becoming Aja Kong. So that got me thinking, like, you know, all of the best, the phenomenon of face paint in wrestling over the years. So we went around the room getting everyone to name all of the face painted wrestlers they could think of. And we got some bloody legs out of that, and I was very proud of how far we went along with, and then extra proud that previous guest and friend of the show, Bradley, was the big winner in that one. He took home the prize of a free beverage, and as a special commemorative thing for the 10th event, I'm letting him pick a match for our next wrestling club. But yeah, he was the last man standing when it came to face-painted wrestler trivia. We even got to the depths of Heidenreich as part of the later rendition of the Legion of Doom in WWE in the mid-2000s. Man, it just makes me so happy to see that level of wrestling nerddom out there celebrated. But no, it was a very fun event, and yeah, I'll be going over that playlist in a little bit with you. And I'll have a little bit of audio from the event as well, from the last folks standing when the night finished. Yeah, love that bit of the night where I go around and see everyone's favourite thing that I happen to play. But yeah, it's been a fun one. And then, you know, getting back into my life after the event, when I got home from Brisbane, got back up to the hills here in the Sunshine Coast hinterland. And as I was mentioning last week, I have so many things that I'm doing right now. It's a little bit stressful, to be honest. This weekend I've got a Weirdo art show, which is being put on at the Sunshine Coast Brewery up here, my neck of the woods. My first art show that I'm doing in the Sunshine Coast. Sunshine Coast is about an hour and a half north of Brisbane, for those of you all who might not be the most familiar with Queensland geography. But yeah, I'm excited to do that. It's sort of like a combined group art exhibition / art market kind of day. So it'll be a big day this Saturday. And I'm hard at work making all the paintings. I wanted to try to bring a bit of new stuff as much as I could. A few paintings that are done specifically for the event. A little sneak peek behind the artist curtain for you. I've got a Vader piece that I'm cooking up. Hang on. Let me check what's going on with the dogs here. One moment. All right. I'm back after that dog snafu. Not the first time the dogs have made a run-in on the podcast. But yeah, I got a little old Vader piece that I'm working on. One of my all-time favorite dudes to draw and make art of, as well as a Harley race piece that I thought was quite fun. So I'm still in the final stages of getting those done. And then I got a whole bunch of art that I also have to make for this Solstice art show coming up the following week, of which I've got a fun little challenge on Friday. I actually have to come up with the didactics, the write-ups, the titles, the pricing, the sizing, all this stuff for a bunch of paintings that I haven't even done yet. So that'll be fun. I'm not really looking forward to that, to be honest. But we'll see how we go. Yeah, all the things, and I kind of I really enjoy this making part. I've said it before, the creating part of art is the best bit. But it's just everything else around it sometimes where you can have pressure and stress and all these kind of things. And they're not necessarily conducive to creativity, I feel. But, I'll get there. Sometimes I just have to remind myself, hey, let's just don't forget to enjoy this. You know what I mean? But, yeah. And then I've, still got a bunch of fun commission stuff. I've got some other stuff lined up to the schedule as well. It's kind of a fun challenge now, going through and being able to plan out my calendar a little bit better for with the different people that want commission work and have different projects they would like me to be involved in, which I'm so grateful for. So yeah, I've got that marked out a little bit into now July. I'm kind of working into. So yeah, I feel a little bit kind of like a professional, which is kind of nice in this way. But yeah, if you have a commission thing that you would like to have me do my Chris Things art for, be that an illustration or if you just want a painting or whatever it might be, please feel free to hit me up and I'll get something locked in the books for you. You can email me if you jump on christhings.com.au. There's a contact page. You can also hit me up on my Instagram, instagram.com/christhings. But yeah, all the things, let's do it, guys, let's do it. But that's enough of me yammering on for this week. Yeah, I'm just making stuff. I'm painting, and that's the main takeaway here. Badger is scratching at the door, but yeah, we do our best. Anyway, all right, I think it's time we jumped into Wrestling Club number 10 at the Scratch. All right, over to this past Sunday evening at the Scratch.
From my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
The Wrestling Club is about to start. I'd like to thank everyone for coming here for the big 10th event. This feels so nice. I'd like to thank everyone who supported over the different events, and I hope tonight we can play some interesting and fun stuff that soaks up the spirit of all the previous ones and maybe offend some people just a good amount. If anyone wants to buy anything through the evening, I've got my things here. We've even got the new Wrestling Club t-shirt. Only a few sizes remaining, but if anyone wants to order one, can get it made up and be ready at the next event. Yeah, so if you want to buy anything, hit me up. But most of all, let's enjoy some wrestling. All right. So, the evening in question, we started with what I thought was an appropriate start for Wrestling Club X. Wrestling Society X, we had the intro of episode 2, and a match that I feel really summed up the Wrestling Society X experience very well, that being Teddy Hart and M-Dog 20 versus Josh Jug Raymond and Spider Nate Webb. This was just absolutely ridiculous, and I think got the night off to a very fun start. We then went to a trailer, if you will, a VHS ad where you can buy the home video of ECW Born to be Wired. That may be previewing something coming a little bit later in the evening. We then jumped into the tremendous Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka match from ECW, their first ever match in ECW at the old Queen's Elks Lodge, the Madhouse of Extreme. What was the date on this one? Let me just see here. Here you go, live. Very professional, very professional stuff here. This one, turns out it took place... There we go. it was actually in 1998. This one took place on the March 7th. Wait, no, July 3rd, 1998. It actually played twice on ECW TV. Once in 1998, and then again in '99 as they were heating up the Tanaka getting a title shot against Taz. But man, this match was so much fun. Excellent introduction to the amazing Michael Awesome versus Masato Tanaka rivalry into ECW. And also just the old Queen's Elks Lodge. That was just such a magical venue. Just clearly very much over capacity. Just everyone was shoulder to shoulder, standing room only. It was incredible. And yeah, I played it off of that a combination of the 1998 ECW TV and some of the 99. There was some entrances that they cut out on certain ones. But yeah, man, so good. Also the intro with the previous week's highlights of Masato Tanaka and Balls Mahoney just clobbering one another with chairs. Tremendous stuff. We then went on to a really great squash match, enhancement match, maybe we'd say, the only ever match of Aja Kong in WWF. Aja Kong versus Chaparita Asari. This one... There you go. I'm very prepared here today. This one took place on December 11th, 1995, on Raw. That one was in Salisbury, Maryland, USA. Yeah, that was such an interesting match. I think my favourite part was Vince Jr. being sort of like, as the match goes on, more and more outraged with the general vibes of Aja Kong, but so good. This was maybe one of the greatest squash matches I've ever seen. Aja Kong looked like an absolute beast, so much so that she was never used ever again in WWF. And that Raw was actually main evented by Bret Hart against Bob Backlund, which ended in a DQ. Not that I showed that one, but big fan of both of those men. We then went to an interview that Aja Kong did with like a Chinese news network that was actually fascinating. I played bits and pieces of this through the evening, but I'd highly recommend checking that out. Aja Kong on CCTN, I think, something like that. Anyway, very interesting interview that was highlighted by Aja Kong mentioning that she was bullied in school for not having a dad present. Kids are so mean, and also for being of a mixed race. And mentioned she went home and complained about this to her mum. And she said to her mum, like, I'm trying to do what you're saying, I'm trying to ignore them, but it's not working. Like, why did you even have me? And then her mum apparently grabbed a knife and held it up to her throat and said, I had you, and it's my right to kill you. And somehow that moment that sounded quite traumatic was a turning point in Aja Kong's life. Led to her becoming the incredible wrestler that we know her as today. But I thought that was just an absolutely fascinating moment. We then, contrasting that in a beautiful way, got a delightful Dusty Rhodes promo talking up his coming to Houston Wrestling, Paul Bosch's Houston Wrestling, and he's got thunder in both fists, baby. Man, such a great promo. We then got a match that I adore, a match from February 11th, 1994, between Aja Kong and Manami Toyota. yes, this was the part of the Big Egg Universe All Japan Women's Show at the Tokyo Dome. One of the most significant women's wrestling shows in history. It was a title tournament as well, and this match actually only took place in the first round, if you'd believe that. But this match is just incredible, one of the greatest matches I've ever seen, and I was delighted to be able to include that, for Wrestling Club, and for some, folks who might not have been that, known all about Manami Toyota, or Aja Kong for that matter, but yeah, man, my delight to show that one. That was so much fun. I then showed some highlights of the ECW TV from August 5th, 1997, the week before Born to Be Wired. So starting off with a tremendous it was weird as well. This great build with RVD challenging Tommy Dreamer for the show, but also him hyping up Sabu versus Terry Funk in a no ropes barbed wire match. Badger, please stop that. That, man, it is incredible. And then later on we would have the Terry Funk challenge to Sabu, talking directly into the camera, and just a fantastic match that was just really, really gets you excited for this no ropes barbed wire match. Man, so good. We then got Nick Bockwinkel taunting Dusty Rhodes in an upcoming title match in Houston Wrestling. Then played a few ECW TV ads sprinkled throughout that I quite enjoyed. We then got Low-Ki versus Samoa Joe at Glory by Honor, Ring of Honor 2002 at the old Murphy Recreation Center, I think. This is Joe's first ever match in Ring of Honor, and one of my real favourites of Samoa Joe. Just really captures so much of the magic of both Joe and Low-Ki. We then go into the big Dusty Rhodes versus Nick Bockwinkel match. This one took place at Houston Wrestling for Paul Bosch, one of the greatest wrestling promoters of all time. And this is great because you get a little intro interview between Bosch and Nick Bockwinkel that is just so great and captures so much of the magic of the time. Let's have a look here. This match officially took place it was May 20th, 1983 for the AWA World Championship. And man, it's so great. I love both Dusty Rhodes and Nick Bockwinkel, and their dynamic together is all the magic that you would possibly expect. Hang on, Badger. Let me let you out. One moment. Oh, I didn't want to get out. Man. Dogs, dude. Alright. We then went to a match from 2010. This I'm not actually sure the promotion this took place for, but this is just a Yave clinic between two of the greatest Yave maestros that there ever was, Negro Navarro against Solar, in a match that I love. It actually takes place at Korakuen Hall, of all places. So this is July 19th, 2010. A match that I highly recommend, and really offered something different at this point in the evening compared to everything we've watched previously. We then get that Terry Funk promo from ECW Hardcore TV, August 5th, 1997, that I mentioned earlier. Followed by a tremendous promo from Mad Dog Vachon, being interviewed by Mean Gene Oakland for an AWA involving a pine box, leading up to a match with Jerry Crusher Blackwell. This promo needs to be seen to be believed. We also had a Jerry Blackwell promo where he is hammering a nail into a piece of wood with his head. That's these AWA promos, they're so, like nothing can touch them. These guys just blow my mind. I love it. We then got highlights of Mad Dog Vachon versus Jerry Crusher Blackwell in a seemed like a Texas death match. It was sort of like that. They get pinned and then they start the countdown. But this was great. I just wish I could find it in its entirety. But that in and of itself was great. We then got a match in New Japan, April 1991. It was a fan cam footage of Owen Hart versus the Pegasus Kid. This match was awesome. This match showed everything about that like Calgary style of wrestling that was so ahead of its time in that era. And also was important to me to introduce, one of, to me, the greatest wrestlers that there ever was, in Chris Benoit. And, it's obviously a name that has a lot of controversy associated with it. But someone, for me, who I don't think his wrestling should be forgotten, regardless of it stirring up some hard feelings surrounding everything to do with the end of his life. But I think there's no reason why we shouldn't celebrate his career despite those things. So yeah, this was my way of slowly shoehorning some Benoit in there in a way that maybe is a bit more bit less obvious, I guess. We then finally got to ECW Born to be Wired. We got the show intro and the main event match that I adore. I think I wanted to play something as a special Sabu tribute match for this evening. To me, that was really important to me, and it was so tough to pick the Sabu match in question. I really went back and forth on some different ones. I was almost going to play that first Sabu RVD match that is amazing as well. The whole series is amazing, but there's something about this match that showed a different bit of Sabu that I think was just so special, and it felt so dangerous and so violent and so just so prototypically Sabu. So this match took place on the September 8th, 1997, at the August 9th, 1997 at ECW Arena. And yeah, dude, this match is just everything. ECW World Heavyweight Championship on the line, no rope, barbed wire. Terry at his absolute best. Sabu, everyone's probably seen this match, but if you haven't, please do yourself a favor and give it a rewatch. I think the ultimate tribute that we could possibly have to the great man that was Sabu. So at this point, the night finished, and I went around the room and asked everyone what their favorite matches were. So let's jump into that. Let's see what people like, and capture a little bit of the essence of the night in question.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Host. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethost.com/terms.
Finishing on a note that I was originally like, maybe a little bit much, possibly, but at the same time, I feel like I gave a little warning this time, so it's like a little bit more okay. But this end point, I just wanted to note, was a bit of a special match for me. So like for tonight, I wanted to do like a special Sabu match. With his recent passing, like I wanted to play a match that like really captures the magic of Sabu as much as possible, and this is my favorite Sabu match of all time. It feels like unsafe and gross and like dangerous and just like weird and all of the things, and that to me was the magic of Sabu. He was. There's a really great Phil Schneider article that he did just recently after Sabu's passing that was posted on Yahoo Sports, where he said that Sabu was he was like a tightrope walker over fire with no net, and that's exactly what this was. This was weird and dangerous and so unsanitized, and that's what I love about wrestling, and so the opposite of what a lot of like current wrestling is, and that's what I want to be able to show at these kind of wrestling club events. It's like the gritty, gross version of professional wrestling, outside of like the mainstream interpretation of it. So I was very happy to be able to play this. I hope that it was received in a manner that's like, I don't know, it's somewhat positive, but anyway, we're at the point of the night where I thought I'd do a final little go around of the room of the remaining patrons that are here. We go around and we work out everyone's favourite match of the evening. Because tonight was kind of like a tribute to all of the previous wrestling clubs. We're at the number 10 kind of like wrestling club night. And there were some different like bits throughout that it was sort of like tributes to different points of our previous club nights. So I'm super intrigued to see, you guys' favourite matches of tonight, with that in mind. So starting out with Joe, how Joe is a perfect attendance member of all of our 10 wrestling club nights. Joe has been here for every single one of them, and he has a club membership card to show for it. But Joe, might I ask, what was your favourite match of this evening?
I'll go with Tanaka Mike Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just love them both so much. And that was their first one in the ECW we saw tonight?
Yeah, because previously I showed their last ever match from FMW, which is great in a totally different kind of way. But I feel like this first ECW version brings a whole different level of craziness. And I feel like we have some exciting things to follow from that point going forward. So not to spoil anything, but I think there might be a good chance that there might be some future Mike Awesome Masato Tanaka matches at Wrestling Club. But yeah, man, I really love that match.
I'll go with that one. And the finish where they set up the table, you think that's going to be the finish. It's not the finish, but then you get Tanaka through the table anyway. So I'll go with that one.
Yeah, so good. Masterful. Chef's kiss. Wow. What is your favourite match of the evening, Miss?
I think mine would be the Aja Kong one, but who is the opponent?
So the big one that I'm assuming what you're going with is the big egg dome match, her against Manami Toyota.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, she was excellent at selling it. Sold the whole thing. I completely forgot we were watching Aja.
I didn't mention to anyone at the time, but that was like, at a time when it was super rare, that was one of the few Dave Meltzer 5-star matches. So I didn't want to say it beforehand, because like sometimes you watch like a 5-star match and it kind of like changes the way you watch it. Like it kind of like makes you be like, oh, okay, so this is meant to be really, really great. So like let's fold our arms and watch how great it is. But like watching it without knowing that, I thought might be a nicer way to approach it. But yeah, to me that is like one of the greatest Aja Kong matches of all time, and like in a lot of ways I think Aja Kong is like the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
Yeah, I've never really seen a women's wrestler hit like that. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and that's why like I was trying to like in doing the precursor to that and like a one and only WWF match, where it's like she clearly hit so hard that Vince was like, okay, that is not what I want out of my women's wrestling. Please never wrestle for me ever again. To me, that is like a testament to how fucking badass and great she was. And that's kind of what I was trying to like accomplish by like doing like, all right, here's her one and only WWF match, and then here's her going like all out, as she should, you know. And she's incredible, and she's still going to this day. She hasn't retired yet. She just like part of Meiko Satomura's retirement series. She had like a match where I was like, all right, she's clearly very old, but like I'll pull up the nostalgia kind of thing and give her the kind of, but she killed it.
What year was that match?
So that match was 1993.
Oh, true.
So she had a match in 2025 that was fucking badass.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, she's the best, and she's still going, and whenever she retires I'll be here for it. But she's bad bitch energy if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, that was a really great match from both sides. It was pretty epic. So thanks for showing me that.
Thank you. It gives me very much pleasure to be able to share that.
Alright, thoughts? Not my favourite match, but the visual of Terry Funk and Sabu just being wrapped up in barbed wire at the end there was like the best visual of the night. That was just amazing. But for match, like, it should be Samoa Joe and Low Ki. You told me there was a match for me, and I'm like, and that match is fantastic. I love both those guys, and Ring of Honor Low Ki is like probably my favorite guy ever. But it's also going to be the Aja Kong Manami Toyota match, because fuck, it was good. Like I've seen a bit about Aja Kong now from Wrestling Club, but I've heard the name Manami Toyota before, but not really seen her much, I don't think. And she was amazing. Like, she's jumping to the top rope just like nothing. And it's like, not springboarding, like just leaping to the top rope to spring off. And like, that's fantastic. And like,
talking about the Japanese girl that lost?
Yes.
Yeah.
Disgusting. She was robbed.
But yeah, that was, and you know, there's now that you're saying that Meltzer gave it 5 stars, and it's like I know you don't put all your faith and stock in Dave Meltzer's ratings, but I think me and him sort of like the same things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if he's given it 5 stars, I'm like, yeah, no, that makes sense to me. I also give that 5 stars. The sort of things he likes is the sort of things I like. So, but. And especially followed from that squash match with Aja Kong. It's like, that was also really cool. Like, that was my pick before that. Just like, Aja Kong destroying this lady, but Aja Kong in a fair fight against someone was awesome.
Yeah. It's like a magical how she's clearly the bully, like, and there's no chance that Manami Toyota is going to be able to compete with her. But, like, somehow it's still, like, they end up in an even keel, in a sense.
Yeah.
And it's, like, mind-blowing.
So good.
Yeah. So, do you have a favourite, my friend?
Favourite chocolate?
Probably
Lindt.
That works. Lindt is great.
They are good, like...
Soft cheese of chocolate.
Yeah, when it, like, you breaks in your mouth and it's delicious. But of the wrestling matches
Of the
tonight,
wrestling matches, if you are so persuaded.
so who have we got? We've got the girl whose mum tried to stab her.
yes.
We're not having it.
Whose mum
Listen,
held a knife
guess
up
what?
to her neck.
There was a big campaign to feel sympathy for her, but I didn't. Because the other girl's more attractive. So on a base level, and good. Guess what? She did like a flip off the top left, didn't she?
You did?
She did no flips. She did actually a flip and a twist. Landed it, and the other bird wasn't selling it, and I wasn't having it. So guess what? No, I don't have a favourite match.
That might be my favourite answer to a what was your favourite match question. Of all of the 10 events that we've held so far of Wrestling Club, I really love the authenticity of it. And I'm not even going to push you any further than that because I think that's absolutely delightful. Carrying it forward to my own pick of the evening, I would say, I think everyone knows what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a question about it. But my favourite match of the evening was Sabu versus Terry Funk in a no-ropes, barbed wire match where both of them felt like they did their darndest to kill one another. And it felt like the most struggle and violent thing I've ever seen in all my years of watching professional wrestling. And to me, if professional wrestling is meant to be imitation of making this thing feel real, that is the best version of professional wrestling that I've ever seen, because that's the most I've ever felt while watching professional wrestling, that this is uncomfortable and painful and probably shouldn't be happening. And I think that's beautiful in its own way, and that is the art of what I think professional wrestling is. And I feel good that I got to give people a little bit of a warning beforehand with this one. I still feel a little bit bad at the last one where Mr. Pogo was like carving up Onita with the
Sickle, yeah.
the sickle, and I thought this is just a fun exploding swimming pool death match, and I forgot that it was like very violent, and it was probably became at an earlier point in the evening that would have been appropriate. But no, this to me is the height of violence and professional wrestling and dangerousness and unsafety and the unsanitariness that is everything the opposite of what current mainstream American professional wrestling is. And that's what I aim to show on these evenings, and to broaden people's horizons and to try to be like, okay, wrestling can be more than what is currently being presented. So that's why I enjoyed that. And that is Wrestling Club number 10, everybody. Thank you.
From my heart and from my hands, why don't people understand my intentions?
Just a minute, Mad Dog Vachon. I have been looking high and low for you, and
what
finally...
What are you doing here? Who told you I was here?
I had to run you down, Mad Dog. Obviously, some things that we've had to talk about. You've been totally unavailable. Mad Dog, may I ask, what in the world are you doing back here?
This is for my friend, Jerry Fatwell.
What is this, Mad Dog?
This is gonna be special delivery. It's a pine box.
Well,
you know what they use a pine box for?
I've got a good idea.
Who told you I was here in the first place?
Well, I can't get into that. Mad Dog Vachon.
You know what? I've waited a long time for something like this. You know, there's something that bothers you, that you could no longer live with it. But I've think about this for a long time. When Jerry Blackwell put me out of wrestling for 2.5 years, and I had to work in the mines to make my body strong. I thought about this when I was pounding with a pick. And it's real. I said to myself, deep down in the mines, deep down when it was dark and cool, I said, wouldn't that be a nice place for someone like Blackwell?
well.
That's where I had the idea of building the spine box. Taboot.
Taboot. What does
taboot? That's the word
What is it?
in Arabic for this. You know, sometime, my friends, there's something that's gonna give. This world is not big enough for both of us. This is a tent match coming up. And one of us will have to leave this world. Remember something, Blackwell. All the money in the world that the Sheik give you, you can't take it with you.
He may be an apprentice carpenter, but I guarantee you he is a seasoned ring veteran. The death match, Jerry Blackwell has to meet this man. Holy, what in the world? I'd have to say that's one of the most unique and one of the most unusual interviews I have ever conducted.
I love that promo so much. I had to include it here for you today. Stay tuned at the finish of this podcast. There might be a little Easter egg for you at the end here. But I'd like to thank everyone for listening here. I hope you enjoyed that wrestling club. I hope you go out of your way and watch some of those matches if you weren't able to be there in person. I'll also be finally sending out a newsletter with the links to said matches in the coming weeks. I got so behind on that. I've got 2 other wrestling clubs to catch up on, but it's happening, guys. I've officially started putting that newsletter together, and I'll be making that available in the near future. For all of my loyal newsletter subscribers, you can sign up for free on the contact page of christhings.com.au if you haven't already. You can see those matches and interview segments and such at the click of your fingers. But I think we at the stage of finishing up this podcast here. I'd like to say a big thank you also to the great team at Social Suplex, socialsuplex.com, the place where you can find this podcast as well as a variety of other rad wrestling podcasts. From One Nation Radio to Keeping It Strong Style, the New Japan podcast, to Imp's WWE Adventure, All Things Elite, the AEW Match Recommendation podcast, the Trish and Sarah podcast, Tunnel Talk. You got all the things. So check that out. Thank you guys for allowing me to do this silly podcast where I ramble into this microphone. Hope you'll get a kick out of it. I need to finish this and get to work on those paintings as I was mentioning. I'll be sharing those in the near future with you all. If you'd like to make sure you're following me on Instagram at Chris Things, you'll be able to stay posted on that. Or if you would like to buy anything, if you'd like to buy any of the matches of the week illustrations that I do, I think there's a good amount of Sabu pieces up there now. I have had a few Sabu matches as I've gone down that rabbit hole these past few weeks. He's, such... as I said in the thing, I don't need to ramble on anymore about how much Sabu means to me, but drawing him and making art of him is, to me, a lovely way of... sort of making a tribute to his legacy. So that's what I've been doing of late. So if you'd like to check out that, again, christhings.com.au, and you can even buy some fancy art prints of said things if that is up your alley. But either way, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to this thing. Thank you so much for supporting in any way you can, be that financial or just with your supportive messages. I appreciate it all nonetheless. But thank you again, and I hope everyone has a great week, and I will catch you next week. Bye.
Do the Hammerlock. I do the Hammerlock. Do the Hammerlock, you turkey necks. Yeah, do the Hammerlock.
Houston, Texas. Cowboys, cowgirls, long neck. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream returning. You know, every Texan got things they really did to the horses, their ladies, and the mamas. You know, my mama lived there, and every chance I get, I be coming home, man, because there's nothing like your mama. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. The greatest sports attract this country worldwide. I'm going to book it down for you on the 26th, you understand? I'm going to bring it to you. Houston, Texas, Dusty Rhodes, Willie Nelson. It's all one thing. The little plumber son from Austin who just went on and did it his way. So whoever I step in there with, you know, you got to understand this fact that my mama be watching all the time what her boy does. And it's important for me to not disappoint her. The American Dream, thunder in both fists, headed your way with knuckle sandwiches.
Tonight on the Hardcore Hotline.
There are those who say that the Terry Funk Sabu barbed wire match was too extreme even for ECW. And we would be hard-pressed not to agree. Here's your chance to judge for yourself.
Oh man, I think that may be the greatest preview to a VHS, a wrestling VHS that there has ever been. Bye.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.